Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Dr. Karadsheh, and in this video we're going to talk about dark web forensics. Now, in the previous video we discussed what the dark web is about, its architecture and how to use it. In this video here we will discuss the dark web forensics. Now, there are three things that we're going to go over it. The first one is understand the dark web forensics. You need to identify different type of Tor browser artifacts and what are the challenges we're going to see. Now, first of all, dark web forensics refer to investigation of unlawful and antisocial activities that are done on the dark web by malicious users. Examples are, plenty, like, drug trafficking, fraud pertaining to the credit cards, banking and financial information of individuals, terrorism, and many, many more examples. Now, to investigate cyber crimes executed using the Tor browser, forensics investigators should collect RAM dumps from the suspect machine and study them to determine the malicious activities performed using the Tor browser, including, like what websites they visited, which emails they accessed, which programs they downloaded. Okay, so first thing here, we need to identify Tor browser artifacts. The first one is based on the command prompt. Now, when you install the Tor browser into your Windows machine, as I demonstrated before, okay, it uses port 9150 and 9151 for establishing connection via Tor nodes. Now, when investigators test for those active network connections on the machine, they use netstat-ANO, okay, which will help you to identify whether the Tor was used in the machine or not. Okay, in case you're not familiar with the netstat, this is the base command used to display network connections, routing tables, and and other network protocol. Now, the A switch tells netstat to display all connections and listening ports, such as TCP, UDP ports, and the machine listening to it. See that the protocol right here. Okay. Now the N, okay, tells it to show basically the exact IP address and the port numbers associated, with the connections, which makes it easy for you to identify those specific connections. Now, the O switch here, okay, this is associated with the PID, which is the process ID. I mean, that every process ID is associated with each connection to the output. So this is very helpful because it allows you, to identify specific processes that are using the ports displayed, which is critical for both troubleshooting and security audits to determine if any suspicious or unknown processes are communicating over the network. So in the next part here, I'm going to show you a quick demo using the Tor and how to identify those ports. Okay, so you do recall from the previous video, the demo how to use Tor. Simply, if you type cmd, okay, you open that thing here, and then I already have it running, and you just have to type this command, netstat-ANO, and then you have to go and look quickly through these to identify the ports. And here you could see the ports, and here you could see that the connection between the client and the Tor network, it has been established. Okay, so in the next part of identifying Tor browser artifacts, we need to look at the Windows registry. So you might be asking why? What's so important? Well, investigating the Windows registry is very important in digital forensics, because it provides detailed evidence of user activities, like, such as installed software and system settings, which is very important for reconstructing events on a system. It also contains information on the file locations and user profiles, aiding in malware detection and timeline analysis. Time stamps on the registry keys help establish event sequence, while changes within the registry can indicate unauthorized activities or malware existence. Furthermore, the registry may hold data on deleted files and detailed user accounts information, facilitating the analysis of user interactions and user configuration. Now, simply to load the Windows registry, you just type rig it and run as administrator. So basically, the first thing you need to look at it, when the Tor browser is installed on the machine, you need to look at the user activity is recorded in the Windows registry. So the path from where the Tor browser is executed is basically on this following link here. You could see that you just have to follow these steps over here in order for you to get to this, and here you can see the launcher right here. Now, in the second part, you want to extract the last time the user executed, the Tor browser, with the date and time here. So one thing you need to look at, the state file located in the path where the Tor browser was executed. Now, in my example here, I had the Tor browser folder on the desktop, and I logged in as an administrator here. So simply, you need to browse the Tor browser and go to the browser, Tor browser, data, Tor, and then you need to click on the state file, and here you'll be able to see it right here. So let me show you a very quick demo about it. Now, for the demo, I basically loaded everything in order not to make the video long. So if you follow the steps I mentioned in the lecture, and for the registry, and you will have to follow all the way until you get to the launcher, and here is the launcher. So basically, you could see for yourself that it has been launched or used before. Now, about the last time the user used the Tor browser, simply, you have to follow again the steps that I mentioned in a slide, and then you need to click on the state, and then here basically you could see the state, see the Tor state file last generated on May 11th, at this particular time here. So in the last part of identifying Tor browser artifacts, we're going to look at the prefetch files. Just a quick note, when the Tor browser is uninstalled from the machine, or if it is installed in a location other than the desktop, which by the way, in my case, I have the Tor installed on the desktop, it will be difficult for investigators in many cases to know whether it was used or the location where it is installed. So before I go any further, what is the Windows prefetch file? Well, it is used by Microsoft Windows to improve Windows and application startup performance by loading application data into memory before it is demanded. Now, here's the thing you need to understand. Each time you run an application in your system, a prefetch file which contains information about the files loaded by the application is created by Windows OS. See, the information in the prefetch file is used for optimizing the loading time of the application the next time that you run it. Now, when prefetch view is a small utility that reads the prefetch files stored in your system and displays the information stored in them. See, now why this is important? Because by looking in these files, you can learn which files every application is using and which files are loaded on the Windows boot. Now, in the demo I'm going to show you shortly, we'll be using the Win prefetch view, which is very small application. This application basically it can help you to obtain metadata, which is data about data related to the browser, which includes, like the browser created timestamps, the browser last run timestamps, number of times the browser was executed, and execution directory, and of course the file name. And so here's basically the folder for the prefetch file. So right now let me show you a very quick demo about it. So to locate the prefetch file, as I stated, you just have to go to C drive, Windows, prefetch file, then you have to look for the tor.exe. Okay, so next step, like I said, okay, you need to start the Win prefetch view, refresh, okay, Tor, here's the file, double click, and here it shows you the file name, when it was created, and when it was modified, the size of the file, and process exe, tor.exe, and what is the path for it right here. You could see the path, which is, as I told you, I had it on my desktop, run counter once, and last time if there's anything missing. Okay. So finally, we gotta conclude the lecture with a small discussion about the challenges you will face as a digital forensics specialist. First of all, there's a high degree of, anonymity. Obviously, we know that dark web provides a platform for offenders to engage in unlawful activities while concealing their identities. For example, like sending encrypted messaging services make it very difficult for you to collect any evidence. The other part here is that the encrypted connections, okay, it becomes challenging to trace the physical location of offenders as well, due to the use of encrypted networks, such as the Tor network. So here, it's a problem. A limited number of traces. When the Tor browser is removed from the suspect's computer, it leaves a few digital artifacts, which mean much less evidence, which means it will complicate your investigation process. Like, for example, most browsing history might be wiped out. Finally, challenges of illegal jurisdiction. Obviously, all these criminal activities on the dark web often surpass geographical boundaries, make it very, very difficult for investigators and law enforcement, to follow or to prosecute them, simply as seen with international cyber crimes. So in this video here, we discussed the dark web forensics, identifying Tor browser artifacts, and what are the challenges briefly. Finally, I want to thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you like it. If you do, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Again, thank you so much for watching.